Jake Paul versus Alex Pereira. The fact that we are entertaining this like a legitimate fight just shows how crazy 2024 has been, okay? Listen, man, if you're a United States citizen or you're even remotely paying attention to what our political landscape is like right now, brother, this year is a simulation. It just has to be, man. I'm going full Joe Rogan. They put all the plot development into 2024, okay? The U.S. has a 4-year telenovela that reaches its climax every 4 years, and it just so happens 2024 is the year where the simulation breaks. But I'm not talking about that. No. I'm talking about how the simulation is breaking in combat sports, and that is Jake Paul versus Alex Pereira is actually something that needs to be entertained. The only reason that I'm going that far and actually entertaining this is the fact that if Alex Pereira had his way, okay? If he gets his way, Alex Pereira versus Jake Paul for an exhibition, not even an exhibition, bro, a professional boxing match in December would happen. Like, you have any idea how crazy that is, bro? Imagine this, bro. The whole Logan Paul versus KSI thing, that started when I was on I think it was my senior year of high school, okay? My senior year, dude, I think it was before the Great Cough of 2020, if I remember correctly. The Logan Paul versus KSI thing, right? That started the Jake Paul versus Deji shit. That has culminated in Jake Paul possibly fighting Alex Pereira, bro. I have maintained since the start of this whole YouTube boxing thing, there has always been a market for freak show fights, okay? This is combat sports. We need to drop this whole BS about, like, the dignity of combat sports before we become boxing snobs, okay? Let's boil it down really quick. We are getting into a ring, an octagon, a cage, whatever, and we are simulating assault on each other. That is what we are doing. Like let's lose the dignity aspect, okay? To quote Chael Sonnen, we are getting in a cage half naked in front of 15,000 people, and I'm taking half your paycheck from your family. Let's drop this whole, well, is he a real fighter? Is he a real boxer? Who really cares? The fact is, bro is getting into a boxing ring, making millions of dollars, and is, in all honesty, doing a pretty good job. I'm not one of those people that is actually like, well, Jake Paul is actually a very promising boxer, and who knows, maybe he could become a champion in boxing one day. Brother, I am under no confusion. Okay, I am aware whenever any boxing promoter feigns this interest in Jake Paul, talking about how, oh, well, maybe he could do it if he just went the normal boxing route. You want to know what it is? What boxing dislikes about Jake Paul, okay? And this is going to sound like a glaze, but this is what it is. They don't like that an outside entity came into their sport, made millions of dollars, and they didn't have to pay their dues. They didn't have to pay some agent. They didn't have to pay some matchmaker. They don't have to play by the rules of WBC. They don't have to do that, okay? Sorry to tell you, modern day boxing is basically a soap opera with juiced up boxers talking about how, I'm gonna beat your ass. No, I'm gonna beat your ass. Like, that is boxing, bro. Okay? Like, I don't have much faith in modern boxing. I've said this multiple times. Boxing, the sport, is beautiful, okay? Boxing is one of those sports that has been so consistent over the decades that it's been around. Not even decades, centuries that it's been around. It has become an art form, okay? Boxing, the promotion, is a cancer that needs to be cut out before it kills the sport. That is what bothers me. The fact is boxing can feign this interest in Jake Paul. Treat him like a little brother. The fact is boxing will never take him seriously because they see him as an outside threat. Not an outside threat that he could actually compete. No. An outside threat that he has sown a way for people to not pay their dues in boxing and they can make money. I think it is some of the most hypocritical shit I have ever seen when Jake Paul will go to a press conference, like, feign, like, he'll again, like the same way that boxing feigns an interest in him, he'll do this fake humanitarian work, okay, where he'll reach out the hand of charity to these retired MMA fighters, talking about how, well, I'm not even a real boxer, I'm not even a real fighter, I'm a Disney kid. Brother, no. You're a dude with unlimited resources, can not work for the rest of his life, and has a passion for the sport. Genetically is above average. Let's be real here. The Paul brothers genetically are above average, okay, bro? They're like, aren't they like 6'2", 6'3", but like jacked too? And listen, they're juicing. I'm aware of that. Also juicing. This whole like, but Jake Paul will reach out this like hand of charity. No, you're padding your record. That is what this is, okay? You are a real fighter. The fact is I'm not the only one to say this. I'm not going to pretend like I'm the only one to say this. Beating Mike Perry, okay, means something. I have to give credit there. There is a certain amount of credit I have to give you. I have to pay the dues, okay? I think it's insane that at this point we're like, well, Jake Paul isn't a real fighter. He is, okay? Then Mike Perry's not a real fighter. You say that to Mike Perry's face. You look at everything that he's done, and you call him not a real fighter. Okay? I will say this, though. This is where I'm going to make some of you boxers mad. I think it is cringe, dude. I think it is some of the most cringe shit I've ever seen. When boxers call it a fight. It is not a fight. It is a boxing match, okay? To give you an idea, I think when boxers call it a fight, I hold that in the same regard as Nicky Rod and Gordon Ryan going at it in jiu-jitsu at ADCC, calling that a fight. Jiu-jitsu matches and boxing matches have no business calling themselves a fight. If you want to fight, you do MMA. Okay? The fact is if to get to the highest level of boxing, you have to throw out everything else that would make you competent in any other combat sport, okay? This is not a new thing. We've known this since UFC 1. Look up who won the first UFC. Look up who won the second UFC. I know some people have like this conspiratorial brain around it talking about how, oh, well, UFC 1 was just funded by the Gracies. It's jiu-jitsu propaganda. Okay, then wrestling's number one. Wrestling has more titles than any other combat sport. None of that's boxing, though. Boxing is one of the most useless combat sports ever, okay? Kickboxing's above them. Muay Thai's above them. Boxing has made a walled garden, and they've gotten to the point that they can call a boxing match a fight when really it's just as bad as calling a jiu-jitsu fight a fight. No. It is a boxing match. That's what it is. The only reason I have to do that is I do dislike that boxers have now gotten to the point in their CTE-ridden brains that they believe that, oh, I took an MMA fighter into a boxing match. That makes me a better fighter. No, it makes you a better boxer. The fact is, you take this to any other combat sport, we realize how this is going to end. Floyd Mayweather would get smoked by any top 10 bantamweight, any top 10 flyweight. Name the best boxer ever. Okay? Tyson Fury would get smoked by any top 5 heavyweight. It's not even a competition, okay? It never will be. Good luck with that. Okay, like I know somebody's going to be like, well, what about that one guy that won a title at heavyweight? Yeah, how good was heavyweight back then, bud? Let's throw Tom Aspinall at any top 10 heavyweight in an MMA fight. Let's watch Anthony Joshua get absolutely wrestled and manhandled. Okay, like I hate that's the part that I dislike about this. I hate that. But Jake Paul is a fighter. He is, okay? This whole Alex Pereira deal, I don't know how to think about this because the fact is that this is a win-win-win for Jake Paul. If he calls out Alex Pereira, people are going to make a video about it. You want to know why? Because the UFC has put out absolutely nothing in press. You may have noticed there's not been a lot of videos on this channel. It's not because I've lost my passion for this. No. I make videos every single day. No. It's because the UFC refuses to throw us a bone, bro. Do you have any idea how creative, like, Lucas Tracy, Bedtime MMA Guru, all these guys have had to resort to getting? Brother, Lucas Tracy made a video about animals he could beat in a fight. Brother, we're fucking struggling right now. So, like, there's just no other way to say it, man. we're having to resort to talk about Jake Paul. Okay? I'm not a fan of Jake Paul. I think the Paul brothers are just bad human beings. I really do believe that. I don't think they're great people. But Jake Paul's a fighter. The reason that this is getting more press than it normally would, the reason that if you look up right now, Pereira versus, the second thing that comes up is Pereira versus Paul, is because the UFC has absolutely nothing going on in combat sports. I've said this like in a TikTok video a while ago. It was, if you are a fighter right now and you want to make press, this is the time to do it because everybody is going to grab a hold of it. The last time that MMA was this dead, it was when the Ian Gary and Layla Machado Gary stuff came out and he was suing content creators. That stuck so hard in the MMA fan base media that he still has not gotten rid of that. So Jake Paul has announced the greatest time to put this into the mind of combat sports. And the craziest part about it is every post I see about Alex Pereira versus Jake Paul, it is not being sought down as being, oh, Alex Pereira is fighting down. No. At this point, we just want to see Jake Paul KO'd. And I think Jake Paul realizes this. Jake Paul has to realize that it's gotten to the point that if boxing will never take him seriously. They will never do that. Francis Ngannou made it competitive against Tyson Fury. They gave him Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua horrifically KOs Francis Ngannou, and they're like, "Oh, look at him! Look at this guy thinking that he could ever become a boxer, bro." This, MMA. Oh, MMA does nothing in boxing, brother. They treated Francis Ngannou like a Make-A-Wish kid, only to dunk on him, bro. This is the equivalent of a Make-A-Wish kid saying that he wants to be a basketball player when he grows up. So you have him play with LeBron James, and then LeBron James dunks on him so hard it breaks his ankles, man. This is what happened, man. You could have given Francis Ngannou any run-of-the-mill heavyweight. No, you gave him Anthony fucking Joshua, bro. I could have told you that was going to happen. Boxing has a superiority complex at the promotion side, and now the athletes are starting to get it. They will never take Jake Paul seriously. The fact is, Jake Paul fought the Nepo baby of boxing, Tommy Fury, and lost. And it was because Tommy Fury took him seriously and treated him like he was an actual boxer. Drop this whole, he's a Disney kid trying to become a boxer. It is cringe. No. He is a dude with infinite resources that is trying to make his name for himself in the combat sport. I will call him a fighter. That doesn't make him a great human being. In fact, I just don't like him. If we're going to give him Alex Pereira, okay, and the only reason they wouldn't do it is if Dana White says no. Alex Pereira is going to absolutely mollywop this man, and the fact is it's still a win. The fact is if Jake Paul loses to Alex Pereira, are we really going to talk shit about Jake Paul? This is like when people talk about Alex Pereira. It's like, but he got beat by Izzy. You mean one of the greatest middleweights of all time? One of the greatest strikers ever? He beat Alex Pereira? Wow, who would have thought? Jake Paul loses to Alex Pereira, gets horrifically KO'd into memehood. Oh, wow, I can't believe Jake Paul lost to Alex Pereira, bro. Of course he did. If Jake Paul beats Alex, I give up on life. Okay, that's all I'm saying. If that happens, I'm done, brother. At this point, if we're going to end the Jake Paul experiment, why not? Okay? I think we have reached the point that the people that are going to ignore Alex are the people that are people that are going to ignore Jake Paul are the people that are under contract with the UFC that are probably going to beat him. The people that are going to fight him are these ex-UFC fighters that are probably a CTE away from... They just got CTE. I was going to make a joke, but yeah, I don't have one. I don't have one for that. Yeah, the people that are fighting Jake Paul are not the most... It's Ben Askren, Tyron Woodley, Mike Perry is impressive, Anderson Silva, a retired Anderson Silva. The people that are like, who's next? TRT Vitor? He beats him? Okay, cool. If we want to end this experiment, let Alex Pereira make $5 million. Let him end the experiment, and then we're done. Okay? If that's what we're going to do. But to do that would require Dana White, the MMA fan base to do something that I don't think they want to do, and that is give Jake Paul the dignity of calling him a real fighter. Okay? It's this little brother syndrome, man. He just wants the approval of his figures. He wants the approval of his big brother. He wants the approval of us. Call him a fighter, and then let Alex Pereira extinguish him. And then, after he loses, they can do their whole Jake Paul versus Logan Paul, and then, boom, fade to black. It's over until they want to do MMA fights, and then we're going to get back up. Because the PFL is so fucking desperate, bro. PFL offered me $150 to make a video promoting Tennessee Fight Night. Not to be that guy, but I think my rate's a little bit higher than $150. Get that out of here. Yeah, PFL is so desperate they'll go to Jake Paul and probably make a fight between him and Anthony Showtime Pettis in MMA. That'll be fun. But yeah, no. Just let Alex Pereira extinguish this, man. I just wanted to rant about this. Thank you guys for enjoying my content, and I will see you all next time. Adios.